फास्टेस्ट क्रिकेट स्कोर अपडेट्स या सबसे डिटेल्ड स्टैट्स,
क्रिकेट के अंदर बाहर की खबरें
या हेल्दी डिबेट्स,
सबसे एक्यूरेट एनालिसिस
या फैंस का क्रेज, सबके लिए एक ही प्लेटफॉर्म, क्योंकि क्रिकेट मतलब क्रिकेट नेक्स्ट।
Hello everyone, you're watching Cricket Next. I am Sharma. It's time for us to talk about India's 11 for the fifth test match against England, because England's 11 is already out. We know that Marquard is in the team now, and Marquard for Ollie Robinson. That's the news out there. But let's hear it out what Dharamshala pitch will require, and what India's combination should be, given that Jasprit Bumrah will be in the team. So 3 pacers or not, that's the big question. And for that, let's hear it out. What are the answers from Sahil Malhotra, who's joined us from Dharamshala? He's been telling us everything about Dharamshala, weather, conditions, teams, everything inside out. We also have with us Network 18 with Sports Editor K. Srinivas Rao, Klaus Rizvi, and Jamie Alter. Welcome to this live session, gentlemen. Sahil, to begin with you, as we're hearing a lot of reports from your side. First up, today we heard how Rohit Sharma said that he hasn't decided yet whether to go with 3 seamers or not, and it'll depend a lot on weather and the match day. But what's your take? You are in Dharamshala from past couple of days. You also attended Rohit's presser. What's your take on the pitch and how the team combination should be?
See, the pitch looks flat. It has been looking flat ever since we have come here. There are no signs of grass on the strip. Looks dry, looks a belter. That's what Ben Stokes used, the term he used to kind of refer to the strip today. It looks very flat, typical Indian kind of wicket. So don't expect it to like do a lot of activity off the surface. As I have been saying for a couple of days now, whatever will happen in the air. And Rohit, he was categorically asked about playing 3 seamers or 3 spinners, and he said that he hasn't decided yet, but there's a possibility that they'll keep the 3rd seamer option open and take a call near the toss, because कल का ही forecast है जहाँ पे आपको थोड़ा dodgy दिख सकता है. There could be some rain, there could be overcast clouds above, but all in all, I think that's going to be their cue for playing the 3rd seamer. They're still pretty much open on that front. But England, if India want to take some cue, England have stuck to the same combination: 2 pacers, 2 spinners, and the 3rd spinner in Joe Root. So they are not tinkering with their 11. Probably they could have been the side which could have been tempted to go in with an extra seamer in these conditions. But they realize that the pitch is on the flatter side. It's a typical Indian wicket. So let's not go ahead with the 3rd seamer. But India are still keeping their cards close to the chest and not revealing much, as they always do, regarding the 3rd seamer. But there's a strong feeling that they are kind of swaying toward the 3rd seamer thing. I personally feel that shouldn't be the case. जिस हिसाब से forecast है और कल का दिन हटा के जो बाकी 4 दिन, the way it was hot today, right? So it wasn't typical Dharamshala chilly afternoon, chilly morning. It was very warm. The sun felt good. It felt nice. So you might as well stick to the same combination of 2 pacers and 3 spinners, because either which way, if you play 3 seamers, you are going to underbowl the 3rd seamer. अश्विन जडेजा के होते वो तो होना ही है कि तीसरा पेसर आपका 5 से 6 ओवर से ऊपर नहीं डालने वाला. तो अगर वैसे ही है तो कीप कुलदीप.
Okay. Jamie, we have discussed this quite a few times, but once again, I'll bring this point that the last test match that was played in Dharamshala was back in 2017. And Rohit Sharma right now mentioned that, how during that test, seamers and spinners both were in play. And he is not too sure whether to go ahead with 3 seamers or not. Given, the way you read the stats, and given the numbers that you saw in 2017 and the weather changes that have happened so far in over the years, what's your take in what kind of 11 should be there, plus also whether Team India should take in 3 seamers or not?
No, I think it's 2 different situations, and Sahil perfectly summed it up. The track should merit Kuldeep Yadav, but again, if it's going to be raining for a whole day, then that wrist spinner, like discussed yesterday, becomes a liability. Is this traditionally conservative combo of Rahul Dravid and Rohit Sharma? Are they going to err on the side of caution, or are they going to say, you know what, let's see? Kuldeep Yadav did make his debut here, took 4 wickets on day 1. I remember the wicket of David Warner very, very clearly. And that day 1 performance put India on the road to a series winning match, in a must-win match. but that was 6 odd years ago, right? Agar, chalo, मान लो, like Sahil said, it only rains for one day, right? 4 days is enough time. I mean, you don't need to even look beyond 10 days ago to see that 4 days is enough time for this Indian team to wrap up a win. But what if the prediction is not accurate? What if we get a second day of rain? Then you're looking very, very silly with three spinners. Like we discussed yesterday, and Sahil mentioned the same thing. The more traditional approach of two finger spinners. Forget the fact that those two happen to be Ashwin in his 100 test match and Jadeja. Conventional logic says कि अगर overcast है, अगर बारिश एक दिन, डेढ़ दिन, 2 दिन तक है, a wrist spinner becomes a liability. Virat Kohli made this error. Was it Edgbaston? Or where was it in 2018? He played Kuldeep and it backfired. I'm not comparing what's going to happen over the next 5 days to what happened in England, 5.5, 6 years ago. But if the weather forecast ends up being more detrimental to India's sake, England still have three finger spinners. Finger spinners can control the ball on damp conditions. 2021 WTC final in very, very soggy conditions. Ashwin still took 2 wickets in both innings. A wrist spinner suddenly becomes a big problem on such a wicket. But like Sahil said, agar barish keval ek din pe hota hai, and then you have 4 sunny days, then there's every reason to suggest that Kuldeep Yadav should play. How do these guys, the same Rahul Dravid and Rohit Sharma, made the mistake of looking up and down at the oval, 9 months ago, 10 months ago? Kal bhaiya ye jab parda kholenge hotel mein, let's hope they make the right call again. I would hope that Kuldeep plays, but if it's going to rain for a day and a half, you're going to look very silly playing a wrist spinner. Pick the third seamer, hope the guy does well. Sahil is right. Third pacer bhi under bowled honge, third spinner bhi under bowled honge. So just make the right call.
Well, hope is the keyword, Jamie, and it has been a consistent keyword throughout the series, isn't it? We have just used this word as many number of times as the match days, but right now let's go to Srini. And Srini, the tradition continues. The England team announced their 11 a day before the match, and they have opted to go with two seamers, two spinners. How do you see England's decision? Do you think that they have read the conditions pretty well, and they are going ahead with the approach that they have made in this whole series?
I think for them the answer was clear. I mean, what Anderson and Mark can't do in conditions on a track like this, no other bowler can. So on that front, I think they were very clear that if the job has to be done by the Pacers, then these are the two names that they look forward to. If these two can't get the job done, then there's no point, worrying about whether you're playing a third pacer or not. And I was listening to this discussion, with two pacers or three spinners or whatever. So the point is this: in conditions like these, okay, where you tomorrow morning you don't know. Well, like Jamie was referring to the Oval Test match. आप जब पर्दा खोलोगे तो what will you see? जब पर्दा खोलोगे what will you see really doesn't have any meaning in conditions like these. आप पर्दा खोलोगे आपको बदली दिखेगी. आप पर्दा बंद करके फिर खोलोगे धूप मिलेगा, because the clouds move that fast. So there's no saying. One of the ways to determine how things will play out is probably talk to the locals who seem to really understand how the weather functions here. And I have been talking every single day to some of the locals here, and every single day, last 2 days, they were like, 7th is one day when there's going to be disturbance because there's a cloud phenomenon forming, and from 8th onwards, you're going to find absolutely clear weather. Of that, they were extremely clear. Now, ever since yesterday, that conversation has changed a bit. Now it is like from 7th onwards, you're going to get clear weather, because the phenomenon, the cloud, this thing that they were talking about, now they're saying is going to move from behind the Dauladar. So it's not going to come in front. So it's not going to affect the test match. That is the conversation that's happening here from a local standpoint. Now, if you consider that, then I'm saying that today when the teams were practicing and all, it is a pretty sunny day. If Rohit Sharma is coming and saying things like, three seamers and all, I doubt, I think he's just keeping things very close to his chest. He really doesn't want to kind of reveal anything, but I doubt that's what he has in mind. There are two things which make me say that. One is you would go for your best combination, with your best combination. Okay. When in doubt, go with your best combination. And the best combination means going in with three spinners. That's very clear. The other bit is this is going to be a very sunny and a clear, weather out there. and therefore it should further kind of add to the excitement of continuing with the three spin theory. As far as England is concerned, I think that's sorry, that's the call they've taken. Where seam is concerned, they have gone with their two best bowlers. And my thought on this was very clear. What an Anderson and what a Mark Wood cannot do in this on this wicket, no other bowler will be able to do it for them. So they can either win this match for England, or from here they just go nowhere.
Okay. Well, as Srini said, that for England it was a direct choice given the pitch, given the condition. Thus, it seems that it's going to be a tough one for Team India, as Rohit already mentioned. That they'll decide in the day whether they want to go ahead with three seamers or not. Well, there was this discussion around Kuldeep Yadav. Thus, from what Rohit said, it was quite clear that he meant that Ash and Jadeja are the two frontline spinners for Team India, and any day if they'll be thinking to go ahead with three seamers and two spinners, Ash and Jadeja's position will be fixed, and they'll be just looking forward to that one seamer that they would add with Bumrah. So, Taus, in such a scenario, if let's actually go and name the players in three different scenarios. For example, if we take one scenario of three seamers and two spinners, who they could be, then three spinners and two seamers, who they could be, and the third one, two spinners and two seamers. And I want like a direct answer to all these three categories so that we can move ahead in the direction and we can know others' point of view on that as well.
The obvious choices if you're going 3-2. 3-2, matlab Siraj, Bumrah, and Akashdeep, of course. Ashwin and Jadeja for me, because this is his 100th test, and I think we should not deny him a beautiful opportunity, because you never know when he's going to get it. And he's in form. He's not that bad right now. He's got back into form in the last test match. You saw he took 5 wickets. Then, if you're going with two steamers, again Siraj and Bumrah, of course. The same combination, Kuldeep, Ashwin, and Jadeja. But here, let's see, I was looking at the scorecard of the last game, which was played like 7 years back, like March 24 to 25th, it started. India versus Australia. They had Bhuvneshwar Kumar, they had Umesh Yadav, two pacers, three spinners, Kuldeep Yadav, Ashwin, and Jadeja.
Yeah.
But then, I mean, the weather had changed then. I mean, it was helping the spinners. It was flat, like how traditional it is. It was warmer. This time, you will see it's much colder. It's chilly. It's more like English South African conditions, where even if there is no cloud, it's going to be windy. So here the fast bowlers are going to be more effective. England will definitely enjoy their home conditions, but then here, what will you do if your third spinner fails? So you have to keep on barraging with those bouncers, with those quick deliveries. Akashdeep is quick, Siraj is quick, Jasprit Bumrah is quick. So you have gained experience from South Africa. The second test match, the first test match, you know exactly how to go about it. You made the mistake of going with Prasidh Krishna. Okay, that was obvious choice, because you wanted a bowler, somebody who was tall, who could bounce who would have that perfect bounce, in those conditions. Here, South Africa, in Dharamshala, the wicket is hard, flat. It's going to be windy. You have Akashdeep, you have Siraj, you have Jasprit Bumrah. They will keep you on the toes. So you don't have to worry about the new ball. You don't have to worry about when the ball starts reverse swinging. The only worry is the third spinner. Like, what is Kuldeep Yadav going to do? I mean, if it doesn't spin, I mean, these guys are going to whack you out of the park. It's not a big ground. So I believe the chances are higher of Ben Stokes coming back into form, scoring a big, run. So I don't want to risk here, takes any kind of risk. So it's all 3-2 for me, with Bumrah, Siraj, Akashdeep, and the two boys, the two finger spinners.
Okay. So we'll hear Jamie and Sahil's combination as well. But before that, Taus, you mentioned one name, Ben Stokes. Sahil, given England have chosen two seamers and two spinners, are we anytime expecting the skipper with the ball as well?
No, he said that he's still not kind of sure on that front, and even if he bowls, it's going to be a bonus for them any which way. So he's not considering himself to be even the sixth bowling option. हुआ तो lottery लगेगा, bonus लगेगा, but I think the bigger concern right now is Shoaib Bashir's health. Shoaib Bashir has a stomach bug. His stomach is upset. So is Ollie Robinson's. Both of them did not attend the practice session today. They're taking a precaution, keeping them away from the group. They're not sure whether it's a contagious infection or something on that sort. So they're hoping he'll kind of turn up good on the morning of the match. Otherwise, we could well see another change in England's 11 before the toss if Shoaib Bashir doesn't respond well to whatever treatment, if at all, they're giving overnight.
Okay. And now let's come to the Indian team. Taus already mentioned the bowlers he would love to see in the fifth test. What's your choice? Do you second what Taus said, or are there any changes to that?
No, I'll still go with two seamers and three spinners. I wouldn't fall
Okay.
for the clouds or whatever is going to happen tomorrow, because whatever is going to happen tomorrow, it's not going to be, that कि 9 घंटा बारिश हो रही है, 8 घंटा बारिश हो रही है. जिस हिसाब से locals have kind of miraculously changed their guard yesterday, and the pressure zone which they were kind of showing us on BBC weather, and how they kind of read the weather in this region. So they clearly said कि अगर if at all हुआ भी तो वो 10-15% chance of rain, it's likely to be a passing shower, and this outfield and ground dries up really quickly because the drainage is world class, right? So
Yeah.
keeping all those things in mind, you wouldn't play three seamers just based on what's going to happen tomorrow, likely to happen tomorrow. I'll still address the larger picture, which is like 5 days of Test cricket. और आज जैसा मौसम रहा, अगर वैसा रहेगा तो आपको कुलदीप, अश्विन, जडेजा बल्क ऑफ द बॉलिंग करते हुए दिखेंगे. और मुझे रिवर्स स्विंग इस सरफेस पे इतना होता हुआ दिख भी नहीं रहा, बिकॉज आउटफील्ड इज वेरी लश. The ball has to kind of wear out for any sort of reverse to come into play. और जिस तरीके से आउटफील्ड है, स्क्वायर है, कोई भी आपको प्रैक्टिस पिच तो यहाँ पे है ही नहीं, because it's a different practice area altogether. So the probability of ball roughing up that soon is very unlikely on this surface. It's very, very lush. और इन लोग ने बाउंड्री रोप के आसपास भी वो एस्ट्रो टर्फ बिछा रखा है ग्रीन कलर का, तो मुझे उसके अंदर मतलब रिवर्स भी इतना होता हुआ नहीं दिख रहा, कंसिडरिंग the cooler climate where we are playing. So taking all those things into account, I'll still stick to two fast bowlers and three spinners. I hope they don't commit the mistake of just kind of picking the 11 on the basis of what's going to happen on just one day or half a day. Test cricket is played across 5 days, right? तो 5 दिन के हिसाब से अगर clear forecast दिख रहा है, गर्मी दिख रही है, तो उतारो ना 3 spinner. Stick to what you have been doing successfully in the series. Just don't change anything considering what will happen or likely to happen tomorrow.
Okay. Jamie, what's your take? You're the one left with an answer on this, because Taus mentioned how he would love to see three seamers, Sahil saying three spinners. Tiebreaker from your side?
Oh, it should logically, it should be three spinners, but like I said earlier, those two gentlemen are capable of some strange calls in the morning. So it would not surprise me at all if poor Kuldeep, who for the first time in his career has played 3 test matches in a row, is the one who sits out. I want Kuldeep to play, but seeing the way, hearing the way that Rohit Sharma is speaking, I think they're seriously going to lean towards a third pacer.
Okay. Now, it's going to be 100th test for our Ashwin. Rohit Sharma also joked around that, but he also mentioned, that how big of a milestone it is for Ashwin, how he has played so many years and has always been the crucial part of Indian setup. Srini, how do you see? Do you think that, this test match will be one of the most important ones for our Ashwin, given that we have received a lot of questions on our Ashwin's career? And do you think that this cycle, the last test cycle for our Ashwin, the WTC cycle?
Last WTC cycle. I mean, the WTC, that's a big question. The last WTC cycle has just begun. It'll go on until, for a while. So, there's no... yeah, I mean, that's a big picture question. Let's look at the next immediate this year, and then probably followed by what's happening next. And I think at whatever his age is, he's 39, right? He's 39.
37.
He's 37.
37, sorry, 37. Yeah. What he brings to the table, for me, between now and until we go to England next year, I'm not going to look beyond Ashwin. Ashwin stays in my side. Ashwin stays in my team, and there is a lot more, that he can go on to. So, as I said, I'm not going to think about the WTC cycle and all. For me, whatever amount of Test cricket India is going to play between now and the next year around the same time, for me, Ashwin is non-negotiable. From that standpoint, if you see, I mean, he's drawn flat, but kind of, it really shouldn't really matter in an otherwise really good career, especially playing at home. let's kind of, you're bound to have dry spells. You're bound to kind of go through your one of the press conferences that he attended, Sahil was the one who was telling me, like, how when he came to attend, I think the press conference after his 500th wicket, right? That was a press conference when he said, look at the way he was answering questions. He really wasn't very happy with his own performances, and he knew at the back of his mind that things were not really going the way he would have wished. And then again, cut to R. Ashwin playing his 100th test comes, and
Yeah.
again, one of the questions that Sahil asked him in the press conference, and see how beautifully he answered. So again, things might have been playing on his mind. Plus, he's gone through his whatever share of personal troubles. I mean, he had to rush away from the test match, and there were, so you don't know what. I mean, we all go to work and we don't know what is playing on our mind. So let's cut him a little slack. That said, bowler of his caliber, cricketer of his caliber, not going away anywhere in a hurry. And if Test cricket, I mean, from an India standpoint, if we need someone, then he's right up there with some of the others, which that India needs. So yeah, I mean, let's not talk about the last cycle and stuff. I mean, let's keep that as a long way off.
Okay. Srini, as you mentioned about, what R. Ashwin has achieved and how he always finds ways to, achieve more in his career. Sahil, I want to know from you, when R. Ashwin came to attend the presser, the other day, and, he was talking, he was asked about a question, his favorite spells, and how he chose to answer with the fact that, those were not the ones that included fours or fifers. He just said that, 2018-19 Birmingham, I took a 3 4, and I wish that I had 4 4 or 5 4. Then another series he talked about, you said I could have taken 6 wickets, 7 wickets. So that hunger is still there in Ashwin. Just take us through that, the series that Ashwin mentioned, and how in none of those series he took 4 4 or 5 4s or 6 7. It was just a way that Ashwin explained that I liked my work. It wasn't about how many wickets I banged. It was just about that I felt good and the ball was coming really well. So help us understand how Ashwin was when he was asked about all those questions around his 100th test match.
No, I'll take you back to a press conference which happened a year back. That was right after the Ahmedabad Test, India versus Australia, flattest of the surface because India just wanted a draw to qualify for the WTC final. And R. Ashwin, I think, took five in one of the innings. Probably in the last couple of years, that was the finest spell of off-spin bowling I've seen in a very, very long time. Those were like flat conditions. He had to work hard for his wickets. He was bowling well. He came for a press conference. He was talking about what he did right in the series, what he did wrong. And he mentioned about the Bangladesh series, which preceded kind of the Australia Test series. And he mentioned how the ball wasn't coming right off his hand, how he wasn't feeling the ball well from his hand, and how he made those certain tweaks in his load up, just using his non-bowling arm more, and how he imparted more revelations on the ball, considering that they were going to play on rank turners, and how he made those subtle shifts. So for Ashwin, more than the wicket, it has always been the feel with which the ball comes from his hand. Even today, at the optional practice session, Ashwin wasn't required to come. Aksar and Jadeja didn't come. Only Kuldeep and Ashwin were there. But he had this little battle with Yashasvi Jaiswal in one of the nets where he was trying to generate that extra drop from the ball. I could hear, मैं एकदम ऐसा पार्किंग के पास खड़ा था तो वहाँ आवाज आता है आपको. So वो पूछ रहा था जायसवाल को बार बार, ड्रॉप हो रहा है तेरे पे, ड्रॉप हो रहा है तेरे पे, ड्रॉप हो रहा है. वो कुछ कुछ करता रहता है. सो अगर आप वो 3-4 विकेट की बात कर रहे हो तो 2018 का पीरियड प्रॉब्ली आई थिंक दैट वाज वन ऑफ हिज फाइनेस्ट पीरियड्स अवे फ्रॉम होम in 2018. Probably bowling very well. He wasn't getting those bucket loads of wickets which he used to get at home, but I think the ball was coming very nicely off his hand. फिर बीच में एक phase आया उसकी bowling पे where he was trying to experiment a lot of things, trying to vary his pace and stuff like that. But now he has understood. He has understood his limitations. He has understood his strengths. And why wouldn't he, boss? Like 100 tests, over 500 विकेट्स, अभी तक आपको एक वो ब्लूप्रिंट तैयार हो जाता है सक्सेस का.
Yeah.
वो अलग बात है कि वो ओवरसीज इतना एक्सपोजर ही नहीं मिला तो वहां का वो कोड अभी क्रैक नहीं हो पाया. बट दैट बैंगलोर टेस्ट which he mentioned about day 2 where he took 4 wickets where he could have easily picked 6 or 7 wickets. He remembers those spells because he had to work really hard for those wickets. He wouldn't remember picking wickets इंदौर के माइनफील्ड में या नागपुर वाले विकेट पे या प्रॉब्ली अहमदाबाद जिमी डिड ही प्ले दैट अहमदाबाद टेस्ट इंग्लैंड वाला जब अक्सर पिट्ठू खेला था. He played.
He played. He got some 31 wickets in those 4 test matches.
So he wouldn't remember those wickets, right? अभी भी आप उससे पूछोगे और finest ODI spell, I'm sure he can well say that World Cup opening spell versus Australia at Chepauk. Wicket 2 लिया था, पर ऑस्ट्रेलिया को मैट पे डाल दिया था in the first innings. So that is the character which he is, and just taking nothing away. And I think I kind of like appreciating the good work which is going around in the industry. So I read that column which his wife wrote for the Indian Express.
Yeah.
आप उसका एक word पढ़ोगे ना, that gives you a sneak peek into Ashwin, the individual, the family man.
Yeah.
And that episode of the mother where the mother collapsed and they had to kind of contact Pujara's family and get help and not bother Ashwin. Then how Ashwin reached the hospital, still turned up to play for India.
Yeah.
These things, little things, kind of speak volumes about the character he is, the fighter he is, the warrior he is. मतलब वो तो मेरे को लगता है कि वो किसी घोड़े पे सवार है और उसके हाथ में लाल बॉल है. वो लाल बॉल नहीं है, वो उसके हाथ में ग्रेनेड लगता है कि वो कुछ ना कुछ करके ही मानेगा. He's like riding the rod, tuk 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 tuk, and he'll keep throwing those grenades over after over. And it's fascinating to see him go about business. And today's net session was मेरे लिए तो एक मास्टर क्लास था यार. जैसी वो बातें कर रहा था, वो जायसवाल को बोल रहा है तू आगे आगे खेल, मैं देखता हूँ तब बॉल क्या करेगी, इस वाली में पीछे जाके देखियो, 2 स्वीप लगा, स्क्वायर ऑफ द विकेट, उस पे क्या होगा. ही इज ट्राइंग डिफरेंट थिंग्स. He doesn't need to. He knows he has cracked that code, but he's still trying. वो पता है उसको डकेट आएगा, स्वीप मारेगा, तो एक लेफ्टी को पकड़ता हूँ जो अच्छा कट करता है, स्वीप करता है. Kind of try to have my plans in place for all those things. So it's fascinating to watch him go about business. Fascinating.
Well, definitely, and everyone's eager to watch our Ashwin in the 5th test as well. It's a big milestone, and think time and again I have mentioned in a number of live sessions that this series perhaps one of the finest series for our Ashwin, because you achieve 500 wickets and now you're one test away from your 100th, and that might happen in tomorrow in the 5th test match. Taus Rohit Sharma called this series as a series of comebacks. Now when I go back to that word comeback, a lot many comebacks and a lot many players missed this series. A lot many new players got a chance to play in this series, and I think you might have guessed it by now where I'm going. I just want to know, do you again see Rajat Patidar in the 11 for the 5th test match or not?
Yeah, I don't want him, but yeah, he will be there, because see, you don't have replacements right now. I mean, कौन करेगा?
जिस मासूमियत से ताउस भाई ने बोला ना, आई डोंट वांट हिम, मजा आ गया. उसका आज का भी अपडेट दूंगा. जेमी भाई फिर सर पकड़ेंगे. आज रजत पाटीदार का अपडेट दूंगा, उसने आज बैटिंग में क्या किया. पहले ताउस भाई कंप्लीट कर लो.
See, whatever Rohit Sharma said today, and things, the way things are going right now. I mean, yesterday Sahil said that Rahul Dravid was like keenly watching him in the nets, how he was doing, even though he got dismissed in a couple of through middle stumps. Yeah, castled by some throwdown specialists. So yeah, he's everywhere right now. He's all around. But the problem here is he will get another opportunity. It's not a problem. He deserves an opportunity, because the way he got out in the last 3-4 innings, 5 innings, some unfortunate dismissals. I mean, he's a better batsman than the way he got out yesterday. So this is a good wicket. This, even though the fast bowlers might have a say, it won't spin a lot. There will be some bounce. So it's a true wicket where batsmen would enjoy. Cold conditions, there you will see some catches are going to be dropped tomorrow, or maybe in the coming days, because it's chilly and it's not easy to get hold of the leather in those conditions. England will have will enjoy this weather, but Indian, yeah, definitely. But Rajat Patidar, he has some chance. I mean, Rahul Dravid will treat him fairly. यहाँ पर fair performance की बात नहीं होगी, यहाँ पर fair unfairness की बात होगी. यार एक और chance दे दो बंदे को, इसने unlucky रहा है. So he might get that sympathy vote from these the team management out there. But also you don't have a replacement for Rajat Patidar. So कौन replace करेगा? I mean, you won't ask Devdutt Padikkal to come and bat at number 4 unless यार he's ready. Unless Dravid tells him, okay, तू अभी बैट कर ले, नंबर 3 पे मौका नहीं मिलेगा, क्योंकि एक बार केएल राहुल या जो भी आ गया, या ओपनिंग में तो तुम्हारा चांस ही नहीं, because Rohit Sharma is and यशस्वी जायसवाल. So if you are ready to bat at number 4, come over. But वो chances कम है यहाँ पर रिस्क लेने के या कुछ करने के. फेयर अनफेयर के चांसेस ज्यादा, सिंपैथी. बट एक ठीक है, I mean अश्विन का फिर से बात होगी तो I had a point, but I will say it later. But फिलहाल तो yeah, Rajat Patidar likely to get another opportunity. Fair, unfair, sympathy vote जाएगा.
I've asked that question a lot many times to Sahil, so I won't ask him again because he's given apt answers every time whenever I've asked him, whether Patidar will get a chance or he should get a chance or not. This time around, Sahil himself mentioned that he has some great inputs as to what Patidar was doing in nets. So let's begin from that only, Sahil.
एक थ्रो डाउन स्पेशलिस्ट है हमारा दया करके, उसने बॉल निकाला, शाइनिंग न्यू बॉल, एकदम आंखों देखा हाल बता रहा हूँ आपको, क्योंकि ऑडियो सुन पा रहा था मैं, गाड़ी के पीछे छुप के सुन रहा था, मजा आ रहा था. उसने बोला ब्यूटीफुल बॉल, ब्यूटीफुल बॉल, उसने ऐसे साइड आर्म के अंदर घुसाया तो पाटीदार को फेंका, पाटीदार ऐसे ही गया, ऐसे स्क्वायर हुआ, आउटसाइड एज, बोला आउट. दूसरा बॉल इनसाइड एज ऑफ द बैट, बैक ऑन टू द थाई पैड. 6 बॉल ऐसा, 6 बॉल लगातार, नॉट वंस डिड ही मैनेज टू मिडल द बॉल. देन केम द नेट बॉलर्स, इवन व्हेन ही वाज फ्लिकिंग देम ऑफ द फ्रंट फुट, आपको हाथ के मूवमेंट से समझ आ रहा है कि वो कितना टेंटेटिव है, कितना अनअश्योर्ड है अपने फुटवर्क को लेके, एंड ही इज नॉट इन दैट मेंटल फ्रेम. मतलब व्हेन विक्रम राठौर, व्हेन राहुल द्रविड़, दे वर एगिंग हिम ऑन, मतलब वो ऐसा लग रहा था वो मैच में बैटिंग कर रहा है और यहाँ डगआउट से कोई चिल्ला रहा है मैदान में कि चल लगा रहा है सरफू, खेलता रहा है सरफू, को ऐसा बोल रहा है मेरे को, मैं वो इमेजिन कर, बिकॉज दे वर एगिंग हिम ऑन, बिकॉज दे सेंस्ड दैट ही इज वेरी डाउन ऑन कॉन्फिडेंस. Vikram Rathore sensed that something is going wrong in his head. He said, "Ki Rajat, last round, just couple of minutes, let's take a break after that." They gave him a break. They got him again. वो फिर स्ट्रगल किया. वो कहीं ना कहीं आपको वो लग रहा है उसका हाथ पैर नहीं चल रहा है. मतलब मैं अभी भी कहूंगा, मतलब चांस तो मिलना चाहिए, बट मुझे ऐसा पता नहीं क्यों लग रहा है कि वो चांस मिलके खुदा ना खास्ता बैकफायर ना कर जाए यार, बिकॉज ही इज अ टैलेंटेड प्लेयर. आई रियली लाइक हिज बैटिंग, बहुत पसंद करता हूँ मैं उसको एज अ बैटर, बट कहीं ना कहीं आई थिंक दैट what is going against him is the fact that he's 30. He has been in the circuit for a very long time. तो जितना इनसिक्योरिटी उसको है ना, प्रॉब्ली उतना एक सरफराज, यशस्वी और ध्रुव जुरैल को नहीं होगा, क्योंकि they could see a couple of years ahead of themselves. Rajat Patidar, he knows he's on like borrowed time right now. He's 30. This could well be his make or break opportunity. अब या तो यहाँ से वो बहुत बड़ा खिलाड़ी बन जाएगा या थैंक यू हो जाएगा, बट मेंटली मेरे को उतने ट्यून्ड इन नहीं लग रहे हैं. वो ब्यूटीफुल बॉल जो दया के रॉकेट से निकल रहा था ना, वो भाई डांस करा रहा था उसको. आज उसको क्या, सबको, वो शुभमन गिल के थाई पे मारा उसने, वही उस शुभमन को भी बोला शुभमन ब्यूटीफुल बॉल, एंड शुभमन गॉट इरिटेटेड. शुभमन डजंट लाइक टू गेट बीटन इन द नेट्स, या डंडा खाए, या अगर वो मतलब उसका बॉटम भी लगता है ना, तो ही लाइक he gets very animated, like he's a very feel oriented player in the nets. उसको वो टक 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 साउंड सुनना है. आज जब वो 2-3 ब्यूटीफुल बॉल ने कारनामे किए ना, मुझे तो बहुत मजा आया. पाटीदार को आया कि नहीं आया वो नहीं पता, प्रॉपर हिल रहा था बॉल.
Okay, chaliye. So we'll go to our rapid fire round. But before that, Sahil, I read the copy that you did for Cricket Next website, and there was this one line that how Rohit Sharma juggled among various roles, as captain.
नहीं सुनो, मैं नहीं अभी मैं मेजर स्टोरी बताता हूँ. मैं वो श्रीनी को ऊपर बताना भूल गया. भाई का क्या है ना, वो प्रॉपर मुंबई वाला मेंटालिटी है. दिमाग में कुछ चल रहा है, दिल में कुछ चल रहा है, जुबान से कुछ निकलता है. तो लास्ट के अंदर उनसे धर्मशाला को लेके क्वेश्चन पूछा. आप लोग ने ऑडियो अगर नहीं सुना तो वो लोग अभी तक पकड़ भी नहीं पाएंगे. हम लोग थे तो हमने वो समझा. मैं देख रहा हूँ क्या भूल गया यार. वो बोला पहाड़ अच्छा है, तो जब कुछ भी अच्छा नहीं हो रहा होगा हम पहाड़ का नजरिया देखेंगे और रिलैक्स हो जाएंगे. मैं कहा ये नजारे बोलना चाह रहा है, नजरिए बोल गया और लोगों को समझ भी आ गया. द व्यू बिकेम पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू, एंड लाइक मतलब दैट्स व्हाट इज प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंसेस. नो, अगर वो ब्रेकफास्ट विद चैंपियंस याद है, वो है ना, ये ना, वो ले आना, ये ले आना, वो कर करके वो आज ऐसे एक और एनेक्डोट दे गया. मतलब नजरिए, नजारे, he confused, और he didn't even realize that he kind of confused those things. वो क्या बोल गया उसको खुद भी नहीं समझ आया. बाद में मेरे को लगा, मैं कहा तो नजरिए बोल गया. नजरिया तो पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू होता है, उसको नजारे बोलना था, पहाड़ का नजारा, उसको नजरिए बोल के चला गया.
अच्छा, उसने ये भी तो बोला कि यार मैं स्कूल कहाँ गया हूँ इतना, मतलब वो हो जाता है मिस्टेक. बच्चे क्रिकेट खेलने में ज्यादा बिजी रहते हैं, पढ़ाई कम हो जाती है, तो ठीक है.
But I was just talking about that one line, Sahil, where you mentioned, how Rohit Sharma performed his role of an elder brother. And I just hope that if Rajat Patidar is in the 11, Rohit Sharma should also perform that role once again with Patidar also. Though he's 30, Patidar is 30, but what's wrong in playing an elder brother role, to a 30-year-old guy as well and guide him to runs in the fifth test match. Okay, let's go to our rapid fire round, and let's first take Priyanshu's question. This one's for Sahil. The pitch seems similar to India-New Zealand World Cup match. Slow turner batting wicket.
No,
What kind of...
unlike the India New Zealand game, because it was still very hot in the afternoon. I covered that game in Dharamshala. It was only the evening which became cooler and the dew kind of came in. The clouds did what they did. But आप अगर वो गेम का फर्स्ट हाफ देखोगे, बॉल स्लो टर्न हो रहा था, बट बैटिंग वाजंट डिफिकल्ट. डैरिल मिशेल ने कुलदीप यादव का भरता बना दिया था इसी पिच के ऊपर. चढ़ चढ़ के सामने छक्के मारे थे प्रेस बॉक्स के ऊपर. तो इतना रेजिंग टर्न नहीं था, और वैसा टर्न आपको डे वन से तो नहीं दिखने वाला. अभी इट्स लाइक looks very hard firm. I don't know how soft it has become after the rain and the hail, but I hope it has not, because 2 days under the sun would have firmed it up for the test match. So day one से तो मेरे को ऐसा टर्न, रेजिंग टर्न या स्लो टर्न वैसा वाला मेरे को तो नहीं दिख रहा होता हुआ. बाकी मतलब I can't compare it to India New Zealand यार, because it's a different, मतलब टाइम देखो ना, वो 1:30 स्टार्ट है, it's a 9 o'clock start. So I still can't say whether it will be similar to India New Zealand, but yes, it should turn if it remains clear after the opening day.
Okay. Now, as we all know that Sahil is in Dharamshala, let's hear it out from Shreni this time. What he thought of the outfield, because the outfield was a major part during the World Cup. So this time around, Shreni, what you make of the outfield? And Rajdeep is asking that will the outfield and the weather dictate the toss decision or not?
Shady nature of the outfield.
No, Rajdeep has a question. I'm just asking you, what
that question he has said, can the shady nature of the outfield? So no, so see, the World Cup ke time pe the outfield was very freshly laid, right? So I mean, it wasn't complete. And things just happened at a very quick pace. Right now, it's a settled space, and the ground looks lovely, amazing. It's the first time that I saw the ground here in Dharamshala. And the first thing that strikes you as a spectator is how close you are to the action. You just like kind of the boundary rope and the stands begin, so you're really close to the action. And the outfield looks awesome. The pitch looks like a belter. When the sun is out, that strip in the middle shines exactly the way the snow caps on the Daladar shine. So they go white. So that's a shine which tells you, there are plenty of runs waiting to be made. So right now there is nothing wrong. It's a supremely beautiful and a very, very good test venue. And kudos to the people who have kind of come up with this beauty here.
Okay. So in this live, we were talking about, whether there should be 3 seamers or 3 spinners. Now, Ashwin Bojak is saying that given 3 spinners, 2 pacers, teams should go ahead with Akashdeep, which means Bumrah plus Akashdeep. Jamie, do you think will that be a good duo to go ahead with in the 5th test match?
Absolutely. I hope Akashdeep gets a game.
Okay. That was, you mentioned about a Siraj and a Bumrah. Do you think it'll be a good idea to rest Siraj and take in Akashdeep and Bumrah if Team India chooses to go ahead with only 2 pacers?
Wouldn't be a bad idea, but then these guys have rested enough. Yeah, but I mean, how Rohit Sharma has seen Mohammad Siraj in the last game. I mean, is he convinced? I mean, he was Akashdeep was much impressive when it came to line and length, when it came to bowling in those areas, those wicket taking areas. Siraj comes out with good spells, or takes those crucial wickets. It will be a big dilemma for this guy Rohit Sharma, the captain. Ki Akashdeep, a rookie, or Siraj, somebody who's experienced, but then he lacks the discipline. So that is going to be something very difficult. But yeah, Akashdeep would be an interesting choice over Siraj, an experienced Siraj.
Well, let's see what happens tomorrow. Prajwal is asking, do you see anyone's debut happening tomorrow? Sahil, any update on any debut happening?
Very unlikely. Devdutt Patikal is the only player who could make his debut, right? There's no one else left. So I find it very unlikely that he's going to come and bat at number 4. वो मत करना यार, मतलब कुछ भी कर लो, उसको 4 पे मत करो. Let him stay in top 3.
Okay, Jamie, we were talking about Kuldeep Yadav in this live, and Ujjwal's talking about how he performed brilliantly in Dharamshala Test back in 2017. Great numbers that time. Do you think that this Test match can again be a game changer for Kuldeep Yadav? Can take him to some other level if he gets
I
it?
think, yeah, no, I don't think one more match is going to change the level of bowling that we've seen. While I feel he should play, I have a hunch that he's not going to play tomorrow.
Okay. So here we were talking about, who should play, who should not play. There is another question from Sumit, which often comes to us, and this question about Rohit Sharma's captaincy. I'll put it to Srini first. The question from Sumit is that which player is likely to be the permanent Test captain replacing Rohit after 2025?
We've talked about this, I think, in one of our just about one of the recent episodes.
Yeah,
It's
we have.
it's
Yeah,
it's there's no sense that I find in a question like that right now. If Rohit sits and I'm at all at sea, I'm all at sea in terms of who's exactly going to lead the side. There's been no building process right now. I don't know. I mean, there is nothing futuristic I see about Indian cricket. So I mean, all those questions, there are no answers, absolutely no answers. You're still busy putting a team together. Forget a captain, and that too after 2025. It's too long a question. Right now, I'm only thinking about between what this year and the next, and I said Rohit remains. That's it.
Okay. Now, Ujjwal's talking about Dharamshala pitch, that how it was back in 2017, and we saw how a lot many people were talking about Rohit Sharma's that comment that it's going to be a typical Indian pitch. Sahil, we just want to know what's a typical Indian pitch and what Rohit meant by that comment, and then what kind of pitch to expect from tomorrow onwards in the fifth test.
A typical Indian pitch would be the one which was used in Rajkot. That's as typically Indian pitch could get. Ranchi still was very dangerous. We are lucky that the cracks didn't open up. So Rajkot, I would say, was the typical Indian pitch which had a bit of everything, right? There was movement early on. Mark Wood showed how to play with angles on a surface like that. And then you had reverse swing going for Mohammad Siraj, and then Kuldeep, Jadeja, Ashwin bowling the way they did. So probably I would say that Rajkot was the proper typical Indian pitch, and that is what Rohit mentioned when he spoke about the nature of this trip. I still feel that this is slightly on the flatter side than Rajkot, just because of the weather here. तो वो उतना मतलब आपको टूटता हुआ नहीं दिखेगा अगर थोड़ा ब्रेकिंग डाउन रहेगा भी तो. So this as Srini said, there are runs for the taking, and Stokes said that it's a belter. Stokes पिछले 3 मैच से अलग-अलग तरीके से पिचों को डिस्क्राइब कर रहे हैं. I hope he gets it right this time around. For a change, he hasn't named. For a change, they haven't named the pitch after a planet now, so that's a welcome sign. So belter it is then.
Well, let's see what'll happen there. I'm quite excited if Ben Stokes comes out to bowl. I am really excited for that part. I really want to see Ben Stokes bowl, because enough of Ben Stokes bowling in nets this time around on ground. Something different that we want to see from Ben Stokes. Taos has a point to make, and after that we'll take just last comment. Yeah.
They have named 2 fast bowlers and 2 spinners. So Joe Root is the 3rd spinner, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, so fine. So I think Ben Stokes has a chance here. I mean, even if he bowls like 125, 130, that's enough in those conditions.
साहिल धर्मशाला में आपने देखा उन्हें बोल करते हुए?
No, I didn't see him. I didn't see him bowling.
Okay. Hello. We have last question for Sahil, and we'll take this as the last question of the day. He's talking about how, what's your take on Rohit versus Wood battle?
Should be fun यार. यहाँ पे इतना हाइट के ऊपर ना बॉल अगर बीच में आया फिर उड़ेगा, तो जितनी तेज आएगा उतनी तेज जाएगा. तो अगर वुड बाउंसर मारेगा तेज मारेगा, एंड रोहित, I still feel that Rohit, अब वो 100 अगर आप हटा दो, Rohit is due for a big one. वो राजकोट वाला 100 out, again it was a very challenging 100 which he scored. Like, conditions were very difficult then. You were 3 down for nothing in the first 10 overs. He had to do that repair job with Ravindra Jadeja. But I think this should be a good setup. Win the toss, bat first. Rohit goes bang bang. 3 bouncer, 3 pull. That should be ideal, no? Let Dharamshala also have some fun, because this has been a very high scoring ground. I'm not comparing formats, but IPL जब हमने last year देखा था, यहाँ पे बॉल लग के ट्रैवल कर रहा था यार. मतलब यहाँ बहुत रन पड़ते हैं. The altitude factor comes into play and the ball really travels. So I hope it's a good battle between Wood and Rohit Sharma. And if Wood bangs in short, then Rohit is going to take him on. No doubt about it. वो रुक ही नहीं सकता. वो मसल मेमोरी छोड़ो, वो कंपल्सिव मेमोरी है उसका. वो मारना ही मारना है.
That's right. Okay. So, for our viewers, let me all tell you that India have already won the series 3-1, and Dharamshala test is going to be the last test match in the series, the 5-match test series. And we'll come with all the live updates and the pre-match live, of course, with Sahil Malhotra. Sahil join us live from Dharamshala with that beautiful ground, the beautiful hills and snow-capped mountains out there. But let's see what will happen in the 5th test match. Everyone's waiting for 3-1 to go 4-1. Till then, you keep watching Cricket Next. Thank you so much, Srini, Sahil, Jamie, and Taus for joining with me. And thank you everyone for your questions.
फास्टेस्ट क्रिकेट स्कोर अपडेट्स या सबसे डिटेल्ड स्टैट्स,
क्रिकेट के अंदर बाहर की खबरें
या हेल्दी डिबेट्स,
सबसे एक्यूरेट एनालिसिस
या फैंस का क्रेज, सबके लिए एक ही प्लेटफॉर्म, क्योंकि क्रिकेट मतलब क्रिकेट नेक्स्ट.